When he first checked out Otto Lilienthal gliding from a hill outside Berlin, he was known as Gustav Weiskopf. Around the turn of the 20th century, Weiskopf immigrated from Deutschland to the United States, namely Connecticut, and translated his last name to Whitehead. This was around the same time that Whitehead, finished a fabric covered bird powered by a 12-horse engine weighing just 54 pounds that turned to propellers. It was known as Number 21. Probably not after this place. My guess is it's probably more of a sequential thing coming after Number 20. Whitehead made history and became the first man to fly. Maybe. According to Whitehead, these alleged flights occurred near the town of Bridgeport, Connecticut. One flight measured 1.5 miles and reached an altitude of 200 feet, according to Whitehead. For some boneheaded reason, no one thought to take a picture. They had pictures of Number 21 alone. They had pictures of Number 21 with Whitehead next to it. They had pictures of Number 21 with more people, but no pictures of Number 21 in the air actually flying. Whitehead should have had someone around with a camera. Because when the Wright brothers flew in December 1903, they brought along a bunch of government witnesses and a camera. The witnesses were employees of the Kitty Hawk Lifeguard Station, and they also liked to help the brothers wrangle their flying machines. By 1906, they held a watertight patent, the brothers, I mean. They, Wilbur and Orville Wright, seen here stifling grins, could now charge other manufacturers up to 20% of the cost for each airplane they built, even retroactively. The brothers owned a small bike shop in Dayton, Ohio, and they spent $3,000 and 4 years of their lives to develop it, and they were ready to reap the reward. Coincidentally, around the time that the government published the Wright's patent, other people began taking to the air. In America, Glenn Curtiss. In France, Louis Blériot, Henri Farman, and the Voisin brothers. None of their flying machines were as stable as the Wrights, but by now everyone was using new, lightweight gasoline engines developed for motorcycles. By the way, Curtiss held the world's motorcycle speed record of 136 miles per hour riding this 8-cylinder job. There was one hope for Curtiss, Blériot, Farman, and all the other poor saps who just wanted the freedom to build and sell their own airplanes while charging other poor saps to watch it crash. This hope was called prior art, proof positive that someone had flown prior to the Wrights. First, it requires the answer to a simple philosophical question. What are the qualities of human flight? Great question. Well, human flight is powered, sustained, controlled, and occupied. Officially witnessed and photographed. We do accept videotape. What isn't flight? Well, according to Glenn Curtiss, using catapults and ramps to get airborne. That's not flying. Takeoff and landing on skis or skids. That's not flying. Nope. It's all about taking off under its own power from a flat, level surface using wheels, covering a distance or a time in the air, then landing on wheels. The Curtiss Junebug, which he built to take home the 1908 Scientific American Trophy for becoming the first airplane to leave level ground on wheels, fly 1 kilometer, then land also on wheels, and do it all in public and before an official impartial judge, Charles Manley, who had been the official test pilot of the Langley Great Aerodrome during its 2 official 1903 river plunges. But come on, The Wright brothers had photographs dating back to 1903, plus government eyewitnesses, the crew on duty at the Kitty Hawk lifeguard station, who helped them wrangle the flying machine that day. By the time Junebug rolled to a stop somewhere near Judge Manley, the Wrights could take off from a level surface and circle a large field until they ran out of gas or were tired of lying flat and holding their head up to see where they were going. Try it. The brothers could keep it up for several hours. And they also held the official U.S. patent. They threatened to sue Curtiss and the rest. Then they did. Europeans ignored the brothers and stayed clear of the States, but the Americans continued to battle. Curtiss patented the seaplane and the amphibious airplane. How? That's another installment. Stay tuned. And he took his patents and started building float planes and amphibians for the government. Ultimately, Gustav Whitehead's number 21 wouldn't be his answer. No pictures, no official witnesses, no help from Gustav. In a last chance power dive, Glenn Curtiss pulled the dusty yet great aerodrome from the dark corner of the Smithsonian and took it to his own shop near the Finger Lakes in upstate New York, where he rebuilt it with floats. It was a clever move to confuse judges from the horse and buggy era. The Wrights clearly hadn't patented taking off from water, right? Curtiss had patented that. So Curtiss and his mechanics started off by adding 2 floats, which just happened to strengthen the wings and the fuselage. He installed a seat over the wing this time, and he installed a steering wheel too, to replace the hand cranks that flexed either wing. He made the great aerodrome great again. With his own experienced self at the helm, the great aerodrome hopped off the lake twice for less than 5 seconds each time. Professional photographers took pictures, and official witnesses from the Smithsonian witnessed it, and you can't get any more official than the Smithsonian. This stodgy institution nearly wet its collective pants. Here's what it said. With its original structure and power, it is the first aeroplane in the history of the world that this can truthfully be said. But in the U.S. courts, the patent battle ground on. Then World War I erupted, and as these things go, eventually the U.S. got caught up in the whole mess, and soon it was self-evident that there were tons of bucks to be made building thousands of airplanes for the military. If only there weren't so gosh darn many entangling patents. In 1917, the big American manufacturers met and in 2 weeks created the Manufacturers Aircraft Association. MAA members pooled their patents together and received their percentage of the royalties paid out through the MAA. And from that time forward, everybody got their share, because that was the right thing to do. And there was lots of money to be made. But it was also the right thing to do.